Hello there, everyone. Long time no see. Welcome to a new series, this time about game development using Android Studio. Uh, for this series, we will be using a library known as LibGDX in order to develop our game. Obviously, we will need Android Studio installed, but I'll show you what I did and I won't show you the steps from the beginning because it takes too much time, and also there are many downloads happening in the process which will you know waste most of the time in the video. So basically what you need, I was solving an issue here. Anyway, so what you need to do is very simple. You just type libgdx, as you can see here, and you will see the first result. And libgdx is basically a library or an engine for building games for desktop and Android and iOS and HTML that is written in Java basically. So let me click this one. The link here, you can see the community gallery, blah blah blah. What we are interested in is the download part, and you hit the download setup app, and that's it. Now if you go to the downloads and you go to the folder, there's the setup a project here. So when you run this, you will get this window. Now what is this window? It is a simple window that helps you build your project, which you will continue your work on. So here you specify the name of the game. In my case, I wrote G01. The package name, I wrote something like com.game test or something like that, .g01 or something like that, and the game class G01 game, and the destination where I want my game to be. And actually I went to the temp folder. Of course you could select any part you want. And the last thing is the Android SDK. It should detect this automatically. If you don't have it detected, make sure you install Android Studio. Next, what you need to do is specify which projects do you want your game to support. So desktop means you could build for desktop, Android means you could create APK files for the game, iOS is for iOS development. I don't have that, so I removed it, and HTML for building HTML, games that work on HTML. As for extensions, these are a number of libraries that you could add to the engine in order to perform different types of calculation, taking into account gravity, physics, stuff like that. So in my case, I didn't use anything. I want to make shoot 'em up game, not a first person shooter, no, just like a simple vertical scrolling flight that you shoot different enemies and stuff like that. And you click generate, and what happens that the game will start downloading some stuff and create things for you. It took about 25 minutes for me because my internet connection is very slow. In your case it might be much faster, I suppose. Anyway, so after this one get created, you just close it and you make sure that you open Android Studio. So when you open Android Studio, you will get a window. Let me close this and show you what happens. Close project. You get something like this. Okay, so you get something like this. Okay, sorry about that. So what you need to do is to select the option import the project, Gradle, etc, etc. So you click this one, and actually I went to the project and select this one, right? And you will find the icon a little bit different. So I just selected that, and yeah, that was it. In my case, I already opened that, so I will just go to the project again. Okay, because I already imported that, so I don't want to repeat the import process. So anyway, So yeah, come on, make it a little bit quicker. This is annoying. Yeah, basically Android Studio took about 500 years to build the project and make things, etc. So it's very slow, it's frustrating. Sorry about that. Maybe I shouldn't have closed that and run it again, because it will take some time now. Let me try click cancel here. Yes, okay, that's good. So what do we have here? Let me explain what you get. Basically you get something like this. Okay, there is the G01, which is the game in our case, and it has a number of projects. The .gradle, .idea, forget about these, don't go near them. The Android means the abstraction layer for Android, and the build and core, the build, leave that alone. Core represent the game itself. Desktop represent the desktop abstraction layer. Gradle, forget that, and HTML is the HTML abstraction layer. So what happens when you try to run the game for Android, basically the core project will be built on top of Android, and the game then runs. And when you build for desktop, the core will be built on top of desktop, and then the game runs, and so on and so forth. Okay, now as soon as you get this, basically you could run the game right away, but it won't work right away. You're supposed to find these options, but you won't find them. You only see edit configuration. If you want, you just go to run and then go to edit configurations. Now you need to press this one here, the plus sign, and make sure you select Gradle, and here you type a name for this configuration. In my case, I'm gonna call it desktop 2. I already have a desktop configuration correctly, so I'm just showing you this in order to solve the problem that you'll face when you try to run the program for the first time. Now the Gradle project, you click here and you open this. You will go to this one. In your directory you'll find the build Gradle. Yes, select OK, and the task type desktop : run. Okay, you hit apply, and that's it. If you go to the previous one, you can see that it's the same, so I'm gonna remove that. Okay, so you have this one. For Android it didn't work for me. I think I made a mistake or something, but you need to do that. You'll have to search the internet to know the right one to do, but for now, since we are trying to run this on the desktop, so this is all we are interested in. Later on we could run this on emulator or your phone. We will search for the configuration and add it here. Okay, so now that's done. I'll hit OK. Now I'll make sure I select, just make sure you select the desktop configuration and you hit run, and this is the game right now. It seems like it's not much, but it did a lot of things in the background. Basically it communicated with OpenGL, created the window for you, and you are getting this rendered. Okay, now let us try and see few things here in order to understand what's going on. So let me close this, and again we will forget about the desktop part. What we are interested in on other projects, we are interested in the core project, which should include our game. I remember this because I created 2 games many years ago using LibGDX and Eclipse. It was very very new library back then. So many changes right now. I hope not much have changed in the game. So in the core here, there is the source folder, which is important. You could open here. You can see there's the game, or G01 game.java. If you double click that, you will find this is a class. Okay. So there are a number of methods here. So there's the create for initialization, obviously. And what you see here, it created a batch for sprites. We'll get into these later on. But the important parts here, you can see that it creates a texture for you with badlogic.jpg. And later on, it's under now in the variable img. Now later on, when you want to render a frame, the game will clear everything, okay, and set the color to, you know, red, so red, green, blue, and alpha. And later on it will start drawing, and it will draw the image right here and end the drawing. So what we want to try right now is to change the color. Instead of red, we want to change to something else. So here, this is red, right? So let's go back here, you know, just to show you that we are doing something. You know, it's important to see visual changes to know, you know, we did something. This is one of the things that keep you motivated. So red, green. Now the background should be green if I'm not mistaken. And this is a green, right? And the last one should be blue. So now this should be blue. If we run this, okay, if you want it to be black, we could simply say 0, 0, 0. Sorry, and you hit run. This should be black, as you can see. Very easy. If you want to mix these, you could enter numbers between 0 and 1. So let's say 0.5 red, 0. Now this is going to be, you know, light blue, something like that. Oops. Oh, wait a second. I did something wrong here, right? Why I can't see the errors? Oops. I think I did something wrong. I think I should put an F to make sure it's float. Or what's the constructor? Let me see just a second, please. Okay. So it's bluish. The reason it didn't compile the first time, the 0.5 is interpreted as double precision floating point number. So you need to put an F to understand, so that the compiler understand it's a single precision floating point number and accept the parameter. So you can see, you know, we can change that. We could do something stupid for now, since we are just trying to do things. We could, you know, make the image move right and left a little bit. Okay, so for this we will create an integer. So int img position equals 0. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm not making you know, the game right away. I just want to show you things what's happening right now. So what's happening is that the game calls the render method multiple times. So what are we gonna do is the following. We're gonna say image position plus plus, which means increase the image position or the X position little by little. So here I'm gonna say img pos. We put this here, and now we will run the game and see what happens. As you can see now, the image is moving to the right, and the reason for this simple is that the game is calling the render without your interference at all, multiple times every second. Okay, so this is how it's working. So every time image position get increased with every call. Now let's make it a little bit cooler, make it, you know, bounce right and left, right and left. So in order to do that, I'm gonna say int img pos dir, which is direction, equals 1 in this case, and this is gonna be plus equal img pos dir. Okay, so now I'm gonna say the following. Now if img pos dir, img pos greater than 0, in that case img pos dir equals minus img pos dir, img pos dir. Okay, and also if img pos is greater than, you know, the width. I don't know what the width is or how to get it right now because I forgot most of the things here. Maybe screen. Oh, wait a second. Maybe this dot display. it now. Whatever. If it's greater than 800, let's say, in that case we reverse the direction of the image dial. So now if we run the game, okay, I'm assuming that the right side, the far right side, is 800 pixels. No more than that. Yeah, that's too far. It will go back in a second. Let me change this, make it, you know, instead of 800, make it 400, so that, you know, we could see something. We run this again. Okay, so go to the right, come on. Okay, now it's coming back. This is nice, right? Okay, so it goes back and forth. Now, what if we wanted to move a little bit faster? Obviously, you can't make the render method, you know, you don't want to call them the methods more, because, you know, there are only a limited number of frames that could be rendered on the screen. But in this case, you could change the speed or the delta that's being added here. Okay, so this is going to be 3 multiplied by the image position direction. So 3 times faster now, you can see. Okay, this is very nice. And also we could add something similar in the vertical direction, so we could have, you know, something goes up and down. Okay, so far this is nice. We did all of this just to show that we could do things right away. We didn't do much preparation. We just, you know, went to the class, started typing right away, and we can see visible changes. Now, what about this image? Where did the game get it from? Well, if you go to the Android project, although this project is for all the, you know, for Android desktop and others. Sorry about that. I hope you didn't get very loud voice. My hand just knocked off the mic. If we go to the Android project and open resources, if I'm not mistaken, not the values, the launcher, no, not this one. Drawable, which one? It was one of these. It was here, if I remember correctly. Wait a second. Oh, in the assets. I'm sorry, very sorry about that. I get confused with the standard Android folder, and yeah. So the assets folder here, this is it. This is the game. And actually, if you want, I assume we could modify this, or actually we could create our own image. Okay, so let's create our own image. In this case, don't know what to create, but for example, you know, let us make something that's very quick. And believe it or not, I use Word all the time, then pass it to GIMP to make something. Okay, so here I'm gonna, you know, let's make a very rough shape for an airplane or something like that. Okay, so here, and you might wonder, well, why do you make it like that? And you'll see in a second. Yep. Okay, make it a little bit wide, something like that. Come on. Yeah, I know it's just stupid. Just we are, you know, just trying to make things right away. And finally, yeah, I'll make this only. So here, we group these together, and we copy this, right? And after we copy this, we might want to go and this GIMP, and there is by the way, don't use Microsoft Paint because it doesn't support transparency. The reason I use GIMP all the time is that it's more like Photoshop but a free version, and I don't use many Photoshop features. You know, it has too many features. GIMP have the things that I need exactly. So if you want to use Photoshop, use that. No problem. No problem. Okay. And obviously, running GIMP takes 500 years also. So I'm very sorry about that. Come on, dude. Don't fail me. Come on. Okay, there you go. So just Control V and I get the image right away. Also, I'll go filter, distors, emboss, something like that. And we get it. Yeah. Now we get this. So export as. I'll go to the desktop. I will call this shooter. Okay, .png. Make sure to make it PNG and export that and export. That's it. So close this, discard the changes, close and close the Microsoft Word file. Yes, whatever. Okay, so how do you add it to our project? Just go here, copy the shooter file, copy, and you know, there are many websites that provide public domain sprites. We could use these, but for now I'm just showing you that we could change the things right here, and there should be a paste option. There you go, and it's gonna be called shooter PNG. Okay, hit OK here, so we have shooter. Now let's go back to our game. So here we could go with shooter. Okay, I suppose that's it. Let's see. And we got an error, right? I wonder why. Wait a second. Could not build. Wait, let me see. Run. Yeah, that's weird. Does it require JPEG files? I'm not sure. Oh, it's shooter.png, not JPG. My mistake. I wrote the wrong extension. This is why. Run this again. And you can see this is our, a great spacecraft flying into the infinite blue color. Okay? So I suppose that's it. All we did today is something very simple, just preparing the project and showing you that we could change things very easily. Not much work is required, and also changing few colors and adding, a different texture. Hopefully tomorrow we will do a little bit of, more advanced things and see how things go. Okay, thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.